You know, every single day, in factories all over the world, you've got this incredibly complex machinery humming along. But it all runs on a really simple foundation: human safety procedures. Yeah, behind every single gear, every piston, every circuit, there's a blueprint. And it's not just about making stuff, it's about keeping people safe. So, okay, let's dive into that blueprint.
So, what's the common thread? I mean, what really connects a factory, say, in Haryana, with the kind of global safety standards you'd see in Germany or Japan? It's a great question, right? And the answer, well, it's not really about the machines at all.
It's this: a shared blueprint, a way of thinking that says incidents aren't just random accidents. Nope, they are predictable. And, even more important, they are preventable. This has nothing to do with luck. It's all about having the right system in place, a system that's designed to work no matter where you are. Okay, so if we're going to build that system, we have to start by understanding why things fail in the first place. I mean, what's the root cause? Where do things actually go wrong? Because digging into that is the very first step to finding a real solution. And you know what? It almost always boils down to these three things. Either someone's using the machine in a way it was never meant to be used, or they just haven't been trained properly, or the machine itself just hasn't been maintained. See the pattern? They're all human factors. And that's exactly why these procedures aren't just some friendly suggestions. No way. This is serious business. It's actually written into law, like in India's Foundational Factories Act of 1948. This stuff isn't optional. It's a legal and honestly a moral obligation to get this right. So when you really break it down, machine safety is basically a partnership. It's between two different but equally vital roles. These two roles are the backbone of the whole system. You've got the folks who run the machines every day, and then you have the people who keep them running safely for the long haul. I like to think of it like an airline, right? The operator, they're the pilot. Their focus is on right now, making sure this flight is safe. The maintainer, that's the ground crew. They're focused on the future, making sure the plane is safe for every single flight to come. See? Both are absolutely critical. One just can't do their job without the other. All right, let's step into the shoes of that pilot for a minute, the operator. Their job is all about being proactive. They are the first and honestly the most critical line of defense. And this defense, it doesn't start with some big, complicated action. It starts with a simple, daily ritual that is absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, before a single button gets pushed, these four checks have to become second nature, like pure muscle memory. First, are the physical guards in place? The barrier between you and all those moving parts. Second, does that big red emergency stop button actually work? You have got to know it'll work when you need it most. Third, am I wearing the right gear, the right PPE? And finally, is the area around me clear? No people, no obstructions. Just answering those four simple questions every single time prevents the vast majority of accidents that happen at startup. And here is one of the golden rules, and it's pulled straight from the law. Now, it might sound obvious, but this rule is basically written in the history of preventable injuries. The machine must be off. Period. No exceptions. Trying to interact with moving parts is one of the absolute highest risk things you can do in any industrial setting. Okay, let's switch over to the ground crew now, the maintenance team. When a machine needs service, it's not enough to just turn it off. We have to make absolutely sure it cannot be turned back on by accident. And that's where the single most important procedure in all of maintenance comes into play: lockout/tagout, or LOTO. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is quite literally a lifesaver. So what is LOTO exactly? Well, it's a formal process. It's designed to completely de-energize a piece of equipment and then physically lock it so it stays in that off state. And we're not just talking about electricity here. We're talking hydraulic pressure, compressed air, any kind of stored mechanical energy, basically anything that could make that machine move when you don't expect it to. The standard process, the one that's recognized all over the world for doing this right, it has 8 steps. Just 8. But they are 8 absolutely crucial steps that create a bubble of safety around the person doing the work. And the logic here is flawless. Let's just walk through it real quick. First, you prepare by figuring out all the energy sources, and then you notify everybody who's going to be affected. Simple enough. Then you shut down the machine normally and physically isolate it from all its power. Next up, the really crucial physical step: you apply your personal lock and tag. And here's the key part: only you have the key. After that, you've got to release any stored up energy, like trapped pressure or leftover electricity. And now, this is the most important part of the whole thing. You verify. You actually try to start the machine. And when absolutely nothing happens, that's when you know you've reached a true zero energy state. And only then is it safe to start the work. So, okay, these specific procedures we've talked about, the operator's checklist, the maintainer's lodo, these are the building blocks. They're fundamental. But individual actions, as important as they are only truly effective when they're part of something bigger. And that something bigger is a true culture of safety. And what's so cool is how this all connects. The actions we take, right? The inspections, the lodo, they aren't just random tasks. They're directly tied to legal standards. And that leads to very clear benefits. Everything from preventing accidents to just flat out reducing machine failures. It becomes a whole system where the training, the documentation, and the daily procedures all support and reinforce each other. That's how you build a real safety culture. And that really brings us to a final thought. Next time you look at a maintenance log or an inspection checklist, what do you see? Is it just a piece of paper you have to fill out for compliance? Or is it a living document, a story that's being written day after day, chapter by chapter, all about how an incident was prevented? Because how you answer that question, well, that defines everything.